You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. Jim Chester here, Chiro Hustle Podcast. This is a student edition. I'm really excited to bring Megan Lamon on. She is a pre-Chiro student down in Marietta, Georgia, and she's going to be attending Life. And she just has a really cool story, so we thought it would add value to the Chiro Hustle student interviews. But this episode, before we dive into this interview, is brought to us by Clothes for Chiro. And with their systems and strategies, you get the yes with less stress and up your collections. And I think that's a really cool thing if you're interested in making money. So thank you, Close for Chiro, for being our first sponsor and for rocking it with us. So Megan, let's just get a little bit into who you are and how you got into this whole chiropractic pre-student, path.
Okay, hi. How do you tell someone who you are? Like, where do you start? I'm Megan. I'm from Northern New York, basically Canada. You're not going to know where it is. And I am down here for school. I am basically just a people-loving, earth-loving person, and I'm looking to serve specifically in the realm of chiropractic because I'm really into natural healing, and I've seen it work for a lot of people. And I've seen the not so natural healing not work for a lot of people. So I'm trying to be just part of those good forces, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. And you have some experience working in the chiropractic offices. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah, I've worked total about 4 years between two different offices, 3.5 in one and a nice 6 months at the other. The 3.5 really built the foundation for me going to school and just getting my butt out of Northern New York because I loved it, but I just wanted to serve more than that. And plus, I knew I could find someone to take my place and do my job there. I saw so many, basically I educated patients every day. I just told them the ins and outs of chiropractic. I got to meet them where they were and kind of get that stigma out of what they thought chiropractic was, and I could show them what it actually is. And in my town, we were the only office like that. There was probably 12 other offices in a 6-mile radius, and they were just, you go in, you get adjusted, you leave, and that's it. And that was what I thought chiropractic was when I first heard about it. And once I started working at this office, it was just so much more. It was just like opening a door to a whole new world and lifestyle. And it really helped me personally, and I got to see it help everyone else. And that was enough for me to be like, okay, I'm going to look around and find the best school I can go to, and I'm just going to get there because I don't want to go another day not getting towards my dream. So,
yeah, that's really cool. And what was the part that really made you want to become a chiropractor while working in these offices?
It's really something I've always wanted to do. Since I was 8 years old, I've had a pretty rough go with my own back, and I've never figured out what was wrong with it 100%. I had my first chiropractor tell me that I should get explorative back surgery. And at 8 years old, that's a really terrifying thing to hear. I mean, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I can't imagine if I had gotten that, what I would look like. Now I wouldn't have made it to half of that maybe. So, yeah, for me, it's been a personal, kind of selfish journey because it's something that I want to know more about. And I know that if I'm giving, I'm going to get that back 3 times, So for me, it just kind of resonated, and it's been something that's always been a struggle for me. And I wanted to know more and learn more. And I've really had a soft spot for people who had pain because of it.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I didn't prep you for this question, but why did you pick Life out of all these chiropractic colleges?
Well, I honestly only looked in depth into 2 because I know there's about 5 in the world that teach straight chiropractic. 2 of those are Sherman and Life. And Sherman's in South Carolina and Life's here in Georgia. And I checked them both out last January. And honestly, I went with my gut. more than anything. I really liked the school. I really liked the people I had met there. And I thought that I would be set up for the best education knowing so many people and going to the biggest school I could find, because I'm also trying to get a sports background. So I wanted to just have a lot of connections and be able to set myself up for success once I got out of school.
And let's talk a little bit about. I know that you're working on your undergrad in exercise science. So let's talk
Yes.
about how that relates to your chiropractic future, and a little bit about your early stages of development.
Okay. I've been in school about 6, 7 months now. This is my third 10-week quarter because they go all year round. Um, and honestly, it's really been helping me out, especially in anatomy wise, because it's been a few years since I did take that. And just learning about a lot of different sports injuries is really important. There's a lot I didn't know. There's a lot about different muscles that I know that it's going to be an entire new world being in that program for the next 2, 3 years. And I'll be starting it at the end of this year. I'm more than halfway through it now. So, yeah, the plan is to just kind of take that sports injury management into the chiropractic side. And I may even want to start that way after school. I don't know if I'm going to have my own practice right away. I'd love to help a sports team or, be able to work for someone. So I think that having a background in sports science is going to help, and exercise science.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm really excited for your ambitious,
Thank you.
your ability to be a student and to take the control of your future, and to know that this is something that's going to be good for you. It's a very rewarding career. I've met thousands of chiropractors, and I just know that it's baseline. What I can tell you is it's give, love, serve. But then it's
Yeah,
but as you know, working in the office, it's marketing and business too.
100%.
So make
100%.
make sure you wrap your head around this concept that you will have to learn marketing and business. And I know early on you said working in the office, you did a lot of marketing for that clinic. Let's talk about that a little bit and how that kind of helped you set yourself up.
Okay. Oh, what are the good words that I can say? Um, I I'm good at marketing. I mean, I'm a very personable person, so it wasn't an issue. It was just very stressful because I realized that if I didn't do a good job, I also didn't have those patients to bring into my office that I was working at. So it was kind of a double-edged sword for me, but I found such value in what it could do, just getting a hold of someone. And it was a lot of not cold calling, but walking up to someone and saying, "Hi, I'm Megan, fill this out." Or, just trying to talk to them and having so many people like, "Oh, no, oh, I've never had that done. I never would." And just, but getting that one yes and watching that person's life change made it really worth it for me. So, I mean, I would always go into a screening thinking of what's the bigger purpose? Why am I doing this? Not, I would rather be on a beach somewhere, but it has to be done to be part of a practice. So
Yeah,
you got to have fun with it.
you have to get multiple streams of new patients. And here's a little inside track on me that you might not know, but I'm sure people that do follow the Chiro Hustle podcast is I did over 600 events, screening events,
Woo.
and in 36 months,
Oh,
and scheduled in over 2,500 people during that span, and averaged about 20 events a month.
holy
So
smokes.
so what you're saying, I get it. I get it. And
Oh,
that's why I said to you earlier, it feels like you're always going above and beyond.
right.
You have to have a mentality that you're going to go out there and have a good attitude and lug all the gear and stand on
Oh,
your feet for hours on end and be chipper enough to help people. And like you said, you got to flag down people and say, "Hey, will you fill out this health survey so I can help you?" And yeah, it's a challenging gig, but kudos to you for having experienced that. I think that's going to help you long term in your Chiro career.
sure. Thank you.
So yeah, it's fun chatting with you about past experiences. I also worked in an office for 5.5 years, and just rehashing the memories with you was fun before we got on the live. Um, so you're pre-Chiro, you have some Chiro experience, and you did patient ed too. So talk a little bit about the patient education part of all that.
Okay. Like how the process went, how we went about
Well,
it. I mean,
how you got funneled into that role?
oh. Well, that was the only role that was available, so it was perfect. The girl that I ended up taking her job, she went to school and she's in school right now at Sherman, and
Oh,
she's just
cool.
about done. So yeah, and she knew who I was, and I was a patient at that office, and she was like, I think you'd be a really good match for this. You should come in and get interviewed. I had 5 interviews before I got the job, and I by the fifth thought that it was a cruel joke. Like I was like, I just don't understand. There's only 2 people interviewing me. Like how far could we really go with this? But they did end up hiring me. They just were a very reluctant crew to get into, and they just became my family instantly. I was there 12 hours a day, 4 and 5 days a week, and then working weekends for screenings. And um, I remember having to learn and script myself, and I would just cry looking at how much I had to learn, because I was like, I'm just not going to learn. I'm not an actor. I don't know pages on pages, but I learned how important that was to have a script to fall back on, so that when you get kind of mind boggled, you know where you are and what to say. And I mean, it really became second nature to me. It was nothing. And I just having the opportunity to meet that many people and to realize that a lot of them are in pain and a lot of them are really disconnected from their source, and that there is a way out of that. It just takes time and it takes patience and grace. So I really loved that job so much. Even on the hard days, I loved it.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying is so valuable to people watching right now, because obviously you've probably seen a big difference between the person when they came in on their first or second visit to like their seventh to 10th visit.
Oh yeah, yeah. So many times. I mean, most of the times, there's not honestly usually a case where it would get that much worse. Because we gave people the valuable tools, and we, honestly told them the truth on how their body works and what they need to do to alkalize, and because the bodies don't heal in acidic environments. And it was just like magic, really. It was honestly to me like I was experiencing magic.
So this clinic must be on fire, getting two Cairo students to go into programs. Let's talk about this place. It must be like a magical place of chiropractic.
Oh, they think it's a curse, to be honest. But yeah, it's called Northern Lights Chiropractic. It's in Watertown, New York, and the 2 chiropractors who own the office are definitely responsible. Becky Kishmiri and Larry Silverstein. They both are chiropractors. One went to Life and one went to Palmer in Florida.
Oh,
So yeah, they're kind of like a powerhouse couple.
Larry's my buddy.
Yeah. See, if you know Larry, then you'll understand.
Yeah, we
100%.
actually met each other at Cairo Sushi last year, and I was
Awesome.
just alluding to you to hear about the samurai, and I have a note here says Tristan to Megan Lamon, and now we have Jennifer Trent who's down at LifeU. She says, "Hey Megan, connect with me. I'm at LifeU too. Please
Yay.
please join us on the Cairo Sushi page and think about joining us in the Cairo Sushi Samurai Mentor Group." Just the things I was telling you before we went live. Tons of great
Beautiful.
marketing and business info. So there you have it. Jennifer Trent is also in the Samurai group. She brings a lot of value to the group by being a student. And actually, she was very instrumental in me getting a few leads on doing these student interviews. So thank you,
Beautiful.
Jennifer, for hooking me up with that idea to go into the Samurai and ask the student base if they would like to do Facebook Live interviews. So yeah, pretty cool. She's definitely a
Thanks,
nice.
Jen.
She's definitely a very very nice young DC to be. Um, so, what are you looking forward to in the future? Then I guess this is the point in the interview that we talk about the future.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to helping people. Like I said, that's why I'm here. I'm looking forward to all the debt. I'm just kidding. Um, I'm looking forward to the whole lifestyle, basically, of serving people and having that coming back to me. The debt's not even something I'm worrying about because it's all just a game, really. So,
You warned me.
yeah, I did warn you. No, it's realistic though. It's a scary thing to think about, but I mean, for me, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing, and I'm not sure what else I would be doing. Like I fell into this hard and have not been able to get out of it, even if I wanted to. I mean, so far everything's lined up, everything's worked out for me to get to where I need to be. So I think it's the right path, and I'm just honestly waiting for that day until I can serve people and I can be the one they call instead of just a medical doctor or someone that's just going to send them to through another routine process of getting the MRI. And I'm so sorry. You're gonna be so mad at me. My phone's gonna die, and I'm gonna plug it in. um, so basically, just serving people is the biggest thing, and reaping the rewards that come back from that.
Yeah, no problem. I think that it's you're improvising on the fly, and I can appreciate that. The next question I'm going to ask you is kind of a big one, though. It's like the zinger of the show is where do you see yourself and the profession in the next 5 years after you get through the program?
Where do I see myself and the profession? I see myself kicking butt because that's the only way I can see myself. The profession, I think it's better every year. I think that chiropractic is something that people are accepting and less afraid of. And I mean, for my own path, I'm kind of not sure. Like, that book's unwritten. I'm not sure where I'm going to start yet. I don't know where my opportunities are going to be. If it'll be sports chiropractic, that'd be cool. If it's in a clinic, that's cool. I want to grow and I want to learn every day. And I don't want to be in an environment that's any different than that. So.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. So would you agree with this statement that there's no greater time than now to become a chiropractor or to be
100%.
a chiropractor?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
no,
I think...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that you've picked a good choice of career path, and there's tons of support out there, like Jennifer Trent said. The Chiro Sushi group is definitely in favor for making successful future chiropractors, and I think that the sponsor today with over there, there it is, the sponsor over my shoulder, Clothes for Chiro. They do teach chiropractors how to close high levels of collections and to get the yes with less stress and to really walk people up the ladder and down the ladder and have that conversation. The other day I watched Dr. Dan do this segment, and he was talking about financials. Did you ever deal with financials at the clinic?
Oh, yeah, I actually did have to. Not very often. It definitely wasn't my job, but I mean, I'm not going to lie. We all got thrown into something every once in a while that we weren't prepared for. So, yeah.
But yeah, you know, the like the end of like the whole deal when people come to actually pay. How long did that actually take at your clinic?
For them to pay or to close on
for like the whole like process of getting somebody to like close them out and send them out the door.
Okay. Well, my first visit was initially an hour with them, and they didn't get adjusted in that visit at all, usually. They would get their x-rays, they would come back, they would see a doctor, and then they would be put into kind of like a group setting first for the report of findings, and then they would be put with a doctor separately, and we had 3 at the time, 3 chiropractors. So it would take about, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes to show them their results, to say where you're at, what it's going to cost, what we can do to get there, and basically let's just start.
Okay. So actually, when they actually agree to going forward with care, how long does the checkout time take?
Oh, not more than 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh, good. That's really,
getting adjusted would take probably about 5 or so at least, but 2 to 3 minutes once they were at the front desk.
So you closed them really quick and efficiently after the care plan had been agreed upon.
Oh, yeah. We just took a copy, sent them on their way, basically, and we took care of the rest.
That's good. Because the talk that Dr. Dan had the other night was about, you know, if you went to Starbucks and it took you 15 minutes to check out, what would you do? You'd leave.
Right.
Or if you went to Target with all of your stuff and it took you like 25 minutes to get checked out there, what would you do?
Right.
You'd probably leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what they do at Close for Chiro is they teach people how to make an efficient checkout process and to make the system very smooth for people to be able to, you know, take the care plan, complete the transaction, and get people on their way. And I think that's a huge component because I've seen offices run that weren't so efficient.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I was
So
about to say,
you,
don't ask me about the one I worked at here, please.
but you've seen both sides of the story, and
Yeah.
that's a cool thing to be able to share your experience. And before we jump off, tell me last, but what was the experience with the clinic there? I mean, what were they doing?
It's what they weren't doing. That was the biggest problem. Um, I did get in a fight with the doctor. I don't even want to go into it. Honestly, they basically they were doing a lot of right things as far as making patients comfortable. That was their biggest goal. Um, they didn't have any. They didn't schedule people at all. They could come in whenever they wanted.
Okay.
And they didn't talk chiropractic with anybody. They were more worried about the weather or like a sports team or their family, and that's great. But me coming from the office I came from, I just felt lost. Like I wasn't working at a supermarket, and I was there for a reason, and that was such a beautiful place of healing. Like why are you not going to take that opportunity to care for those people more, and they were great people. It's just they had a very small town feel, and they were very comfortable where they were. So,
Hmm. Well, I mean,
you
it's
know,
it's cool that you've seen the both sides of the story, and it's cool that
right?
you have a foundation for being able to go into your professional career knowing these things. Because I know that sometimes chiropractic students they don't ever get adjusted until they're actually in college.
I couldn't imagine what that would be like, or why. I don't know. I mean, and I did on the hard days of every office I worked at, I thought to myself, you know what? You are getting paid for this class, and this class is showing you what it's really going to be like. So, make sure it's what you want. Make sure, because I'm going to tailor this to fit me and what works for me the best and what works the best for patients. Because I think that there needs to be a nice middle ground. And I get that everyone's not going to be the same, So, is it year care plans or is it no scheduling? I think it could be somewhere in the middle of the two, and I want them to understand the value of that.
Well, you can definitely learn that in the Cairo Sushi Samurai group and the Cairo Sushi
Cool.
Free group, and you can definitely learn these principles, these tenets of closing by the Close for Cairo group. Um, So at this point in the segment, I ask you, is there anything that I didn't cover with you that you'd like to talk to our audience about today?
Goodness, I don't even know who our audience is. Like, where are
Well,
they?
I'll throw a quick shout out to the people that are following today. We
Yeah.
have Dr. Ashley Oshner. He has a group called Go Get Talks, and they teach chiropractors how to get health talks. He's out of
Ooh.
Chicago, just a really cool guy. We actually have known each other 20 years. I met him when he was really started out in the Palmer program back in Davenport.
Awesome.
Um, my chiropractor out here, Dr. Nick Seacrest, I'm out in Grand Junction, Colorado. He goes, "Awesome, Megan. You've got the right mindset. That's what matters the most."
Thank you.
So Dr. Seacrest is an awesome guy, my hiking buddy, plus my adjuster.
Very
I
nice.
have an adjuster and a hiking buddy in the same like.
That's the only kind you want to hike with.
And then Jennifer Trent, the chiropractic student down there at Life U, that you should hook up with definitely. And then the other guy I was telling you that I like had her notes on this page, and I used I recycled the note paper for you, and it was actually the questions I had for you. And
Yay.
Sarah Zwink is from Alaska, and she is a chiropractic student to be as well. And she says working with a sports team would be an awesome experience. Been stalking Kairos who are at the Olympics right now.
Awesome. Well, I have so many questions. I need to know like where they go to school. I want to know how the doctors are doing in their practices. Basically more than you have time for. Um,
But last
yeah.
but not least, Megan, to cut you off, we have Dan Golden, who is one of the founders of the Cairo Sushi Group, who was our first comment, and he goes, "Love listening to the younger generation of chiropractic professionals."
Oh, it warms my heart. Hi, Dan.
He is such a gem of a human being. Him and his wife Nancy have had the Cairo Hustle team down to their house and cooked for us on a few
Ah,
occasions.
how
And
nice.
yeah, it's great. You know, when I was living in Colorado, I moved out there by myself, and it's nice to have a chiropractic family. So, yeah,
Ooh,
Dan and Nancy are just amazing, amazing people. And honestly, you should get yourself to Cairo Sushi this summer, June 23rd and 24th.
I would love to. That sounds great. I actually miss being in a program where I did have different seminars to always go to, because through the office I was in, we did do that all the time. So, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more with school when I start the DC program here. There'll probably be a lot more options, but Cairo Sushi sounds awesome. I will go to that.
Yeah, she's. We have a message here from Jennifer. Says she needs to join the Samurai and the Kara Sushi page. So she's reiterating big time that it's a good decision.
Perfect. It'll be both then.
And then Dan Bass says he's the ninja of the Close for Cairo group. The guy awesome. he can make anybody like up level themselves with just a few strokes of a keyboard or just a quick conversation with you. He'll make you realize that there's things that you need to do that you might not be doing, and you might consider it if you wanted to get to the next level or the next chapter.
Very nice.
But Dan says, I remember when I was a student, memory lane. Thanks for showcasing the DC to Bs. So there we go again. People really appreciate the student voice. And thank you for sharing what you have today. And then we have problem. Jennifer Trent say, again, it's free for students and at Cairo Sushi Summer Camp. So we'll show that comment there. And we'll pull this down. And after all those people had commented in for us, where does that put you with the question? Is there anything that you'd like to share that I didn't cover with you? And you're cutting your head off a little bit with the way you're framed.
Oops. Is this better?
Yeah.
I'm holding on to it because it's still close. Is it frozen?
No, you're just being cut off above your eyes.
That's odd. It's not on my screen. I have a full face. I have all of it.
So angle it up a little bit, maybe. There we go. Even better.
That's better-ish?
Ish.
Okay. Well, you've seen my face. I can still ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm really excited about joining those groups because I'm not going to lie, I don't have much here for support yet as far as chiropractic goes, which is odd because I'm at that school, but I also work full time and have a life outside of there too. So I can't wait for that. But as far as the doctors that are listening in, what advice do you have for me starting out? Like, what did you do when you started, and what advice do you have for me, basically?
Cool. So if they don't comment now and they're watching this on replay, I'll let them go ahead and put some comments in here. And if I do get something after people watch us on the replay, I'll make sure I make you wise to it.
Okay.
But for now, it looks like our last comment was Jennifer Trent and Dr. Dan. And everybody's highly supportive of the DC to Bs talking about chiropractic school. And I think it's a really good program. It will eventually expose some of the weaknesses in these chiropractic programs to hopefully make them stronger and to have the students' voice heard. And that's one of the main reasons that we're doing this, is not only to showcase the students' voice, but to also talk about maybe some inefficiencies in the philosophy or business that we might be able to get a better, maybe it just changes because of the voice of the chiropractic students. So that's one concern that I'm doing these for.
Nice.
Well, I guess maybe we'll close out, but do you have any questions for me that I can maybe answer? I don't typically give people the platform to ask me questions.
That's nice of you. Goodness, I feel like I don't know enough about you yet to be asking. I just met you recently. So, well, what is the field in chiropractic that excites you the most? Like, what area of chiropractic?
Well, that's a good question, and I'm sure I'm sure that a lot of people that are watching right now would really appreciate this answer. I look at the future of healthcare to be in the chiropractor's hands. I look at eventually where we go to the point where chiropractors become the port of entry practitioner for any type of health concern. I look at there becoming chiropractors in hospitals where if somebody gets into some type of an injury, they go see a chiropractor before they actually go to the medical model, because it actually saves people time and money with their health.
Yeah.
And I think that the chiropractor eventually will become the port of entry doctor, and will then become the referral source out to the other things if necessary. And yeah, that's what excites me big time. And I see that the chiropractor is going to become the front runner in the medical profession if we continue to support each other and we have a good concentration of networks that teach people how to become successful. Because I made a post last night. I said, for every chiropractor that fails, we lose one leader. And I think that the more that we support the future chiropractor, the more that the profession is a healthy profession instead of a subluxated profession.
No, that's a really good point. And all of that you just said, that was actually my answer. You took it from me. Because that's really what I meant overall as where the field's going. I want to be a first option, not a last option. And I don't want to be, my crazy cousin's cat told me I need to come to you. That makes me so sad because there's so much more to offer than that. And when someone limits themselves and doesn't know what chiropractors do, that really makes me sad because that ruins their chances for healing,
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, there's a big truth in chiropractic, and I think that that's really what I have an ambition to do is to show the chiropractic truth to the people that don't get it. I have this conversation often, Megan. I tell people the reason that we're doing this is because the people at the clinics get it, the people that go to the seminars get it, the people that go to the schools get it, but there's a huge population of people that just don't get it. But if we make it to the point where it becomes easier to understand the chiropractic education process and the education to the community's process, I think then we get a stronger brand of chiropractic that will then eventually become a marketing force.
I think you're right, because they don't have as many opportunities as we do.
Exactly. So, that's one of the things is teaching people outside the four walls of chiropractic what chiropractic is. And I think that that's something that we're really leveraging with this podcast. We made a film a couple years ago that educates people. It's called Chiropractic, the documentary. And that thing did really well. We actually showed it down at Life College.
Wow.
And we're in the process of finishing up our second film called Project Patient, which will be a further education resource for the chiropractic profession to get chiropractic outside the four walls of chiropractic.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you at least. I definitely do. I didn't know that you had so much going on, and I'm definitely going to have to stalk you now for my own benefit.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to get the interview with you today and to talk about your future of becoming a chiropractor and the things that you're doing early on in your career and a little bit about your past experiences, because I think that that's going to shake a lot of people up just to know, not all clinics are created equal.
Right. That's definitely not the case. And the sad thing is, I think most chiropractors I'm not going to say most, but I think there's many very dry chiropractors who've forgotten their reason why. And that makes me so sad because not only are we just fighting big pharma and the entire medical community, but we also have chiropractors who aren't teaching their truths. And it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. Why are you not living that? You're so rewarded in that aspect. So
well, I think
that it causes people to step up more,
Well, I think that getting out into the real world of business makes the I'm going to go change the world mentality become weak. So we need to make sure that we get the I'm going to go out there and change the world mentality built into a system of success.
Right.
So they don't have to negotiate their ethics with how they practice and what they stand behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think we're going to wrap for the day. I think it was a lot of fun talking to you. I look forward to getting you back onto the show once you start into the DC program. And
I look crazy.
we can talk. We can talk a little bit after your first. Do you guys do tries down there or quarters?
Quarters, 4 quarters a year.
So we'll talk after your first quarter and see how life's treating you at that point.
Okay, you check the bags on my eyes. Let's start now. Okay, they're looking good. I'll look very sleep deprived at that point. I have a house to build in 5 months also, so I'm doing that. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. I appreciate that.
Well, at this point, I'm going to close out with saying thank you to Close for Chiro for sponsoring this student livecast. Without you guys, we don't get the chance to just devote our full attention to the chiropractic story and getting the conversation going about the Chiro hustle process. But I just want to say thank you. If you want to get the yes with less stress, reach out to the Close for Chiro group, and they'll be able to help you out with your day 1, day 2s and building certainty and collecting more money. So Megan, thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Awesome. We'll catch you on the next one.
Okay.
And join those groups.
I will absolutely. I need support here, so that's going to happen. Thanks, guys.
All the links are in there.
Okay.
See
awesome.
you, Megan.
If I can figure that out. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.